with our device, it will be really easy, fast, and what's really important, without taking any blood, so without this pain and inconvenience, only with a drop of your sweat. That she said that it's really great device, not only in terms of diagnosing diseases, but also in monitoring patients with chemotherapy.
Hello everyone, my name is Agata Wendowska, and here we are in Startup Stories podcast when we talk about startups and what make them work. Today my special guest is Dariusz Gajewicz, co-founder of Nourica startup, which creates non-invasive device for monitoring our health thanks testing sweat biomarkers. So hello Dariusz, how are you today?
Hello Agata, I'm quite okay today. I'm happy to have this conversation with you.
We also very happy that you are here. Thank you for being here, for being our guest. So I think that we can start with the basic question. What does the Nourica startup do?
We as Nourica want to change screening tests. How does it work today and how it will work in the future? Because right now, if you need to perform some blood tests to get some results, often it's quite problematic. It takes a long time to do it. You need to go to additional places and so on. You need to wait for the results. We want to simplify it. We want to give you the tool to do it instantly and even by yourself, because it will be very easy.
Okay, so at the beginning, could you explain to listeners and to me more specific what biomarkers are?
Yeah, because our device, Nourica device, will check your biomarkers, and those biomarkers are some substances that can say something about your health. It can be, for example, a hormone, or it can be any other molecule. But when you check it, when you test it, the level of the substance in your body, in your blood, or I don't know, like in our case, in your sweat, you can say something about health of the person. So based on checking your biomarkers, we can say if you should go for a treatment to a doctor, or maybe you're healthy and you shouldn't be worried about your health.
Okay, so it's gonna be a very useful and very comfortable device, because on the thanks to the biomarkers, we can just see if we are healthy without any blood testing. Yes.
That's right, in objective way, because you can say that you doesn't feel really well, maybe you're sick or not, but those are only your feelings. They are not objective. And with checking biomarkers, it's some kind of objective way to determine whether you should go to a doctor or not. Or maybe the doctor will perform this test in his office, because right now he need to tell you to perform this test, and then you need to go to the laboratory. The nurse will take your blood sample and so on. And in our case, with our device, this device could be in the doctor's office, and he could say, okay, let's perform the test, and we will get the result instantly without waiting, without going to different places and coming back once again to the doctor.
Okay, so it's very short the time when we have to do some tests because we are feeling not okay. And I think that will be a great, especially for children or for people who are scared of the blood testing, because I'm the person who, for example, my veins are really invisible, and I always have the problem with testing my blood because the nurse cannot find the vein, and sometimes I'm fainted because of that. So I think that this device is really helpful for people like me who have some problems and what to test regularly to see if they are feeling okay and everything is well. So I hope that this device will come soon to help people like me with problems like that.
Yeah, we have people like you in our mind during the development process, because right now, sometimes if the doctor would recommend you to run the tests, some people would say, okay, maybe I feel bad, but not that bad to go to have my blood taken because it's painful, I don't like it, and it needs additional time and so on. So they decide that they don't want to do it because probably, I don't know, I don't have time for this, I'm scared, maybe the doctor isn't right, maybe I don't feel so bad. And with our device, it will be really easy, fast, and what's really important, without taking any blood, so without this pain and inconvenience, only with a drop of your sweat.
That's amazing. And going back to the device and how it works. So your device uses Raman spectroscopy technology. So can you tell us a little bit more what is it, how it works, and what it gives you?
Okay. I need to specify first that it uses not only Raman spectroscopy, but even enhanced surface enhanced Raman spectroscopy, SERS, it's the technology called. So it's like extension to normal Raman spectroscopy. With Raman spectroscopy, you can determine what chemical compounds are in the substance you are measuring. So you can identify what substances are inside. And to do it, you need to flash with light on the substance. This light is scattered and reflected, and we are collecting what's coming back. And thanks to this reflected and scattered light, we are able to determine what substances are included in this thing we are measuring. And surface enhanced Raman spectroscopy gives you additional one part, some kind of surface, and you're putting your measured substance on this surface. And thanks to nano gold particles contained in this surface, the surface is enhancing the signal. And thanks to this enhancement, we can measure even smaller amounts of substances. With normal Raman spectroscopy, we wouldn't be able to find those biomarkers in sweat. But thanks to this enhancement, which is coming from this substrates, we are able to find those biomarkers and determine their concentration in your sweat. If the concentration is in right level, or maybe it's too big or too low. The same as in blood tests. When you get your results from laboratory, they show you what's the level of your particles. If you're, I don't know, for example, iron, blood iron, or maybe different things, and if it's in the right level or not. In our case, it will be the same, but from sweat.
Okay, I see. So, what do we need to use this device? We only need our sweat and the old technology, and the changes will show us the right measurement, or we have to, I don't know, use something to get a test?
You will need our device, and you will need the substrate. For now, because it's still in development, so we still haven't figured out the final procedure. But for now, you need those two elements. Maybe in the future we will somehow improve the sweat the process of collecting sweat to be easier, because right now we focused on detecting substances and determining concentration level, not the whole process. It's left for later. However, you need just I don't know, do some workout to start sweating, then collect the sweat sample, put it onto this substrate, SERS substrate, and put it into the device and push start button. And that's all. And wait maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes, and then you get the result.
That's really amazing, seriously. And I saw in one of the articles that your aim is to introduce the device in form of a booth or interactive kiosk, which will be placed in public places such as shopping mall. So what does the examination look like? Like you said, you have to do some workout to sweat a little and just take a sample, and that's all?
Yeah, right. That's right. Maybe in the shopping mall, it might be a little bit difficult, but if it would be placed in gym or fitness academy, it will be much, much easier. And I think this would be our first step. Of course, besides doctor's office, also like gyms. And maybe in the future, when we will improve this procedure, how to collect your sweat, maybe then also in shopping malls and shopping centers and any public space, to be honest, maybe drugstores also.
So I have a question, because is there will be no circumstances that the sweat, for example, if this device have to be in like special environment, because like, you know, in the doctor place, in the doctor office, everything is clear, there are no many bacteria on or dust in the furniture, and in the gym it's difficult to say, but is the dust or any bacteria can influence the device and show us the other results because they influence somehow our sweat?
Yes, that's you have a good point. However, first, before collecting the sweat sample, or maybe before start sweating, it's good to clean your skin, this part of skin from which you will be collecting the sample. And inside the device, we have many different mechanisms to ensure that the sample will be well preserved, to avoid any additional impacts like from bacteria and so on. So that's one part of our job. That's why this project is so difficult, that we need to be sure that if we'll put the sample inside, that the result will be really valid. And it's one part, that's how to avoid any other influence from outside, like bacteria, like changing temperature, because it may be a sunny day and the temperature will be higher than normally in the outside of the device. So we need to ensure that it won't affect the measurement. Also, as I said, we are measuring with light, so it needs to be really sealed, so any light won't come inside the device and change the result of the measurement and so on. So it's, I would say, one of the hardest parts of this project, how to ensure that the result will be really, really valid.
Okay, so it seems very demanding and very difficult to find out how to work this out, that everything goes well. So finger crossed that everything goes well on the device, and you think of everything, every idea, you came up with everything. And I saw that the first biomarker used for your test was creatinine. The other one are you testing is urea. So what are the next one you want to focus on?
We are limited by the amount of biomarkers included in sweat. So there's 7 or 9, I don't remember correctly, biomarkers. But our next step will be to measure also cortisol, because our partners and people interested in our device, they are always asking about cortisol. So we want to go ahead and also try this one. We didn't start with it because creatinine and urea were easier to find, easier to measure. So we wanted to start with something that will be faster for us to achieve, to show that the device and this technology is working. It was not only for investors, but also for us to prove ourselves that we can do it. So that's why we started with something simpler. However, it doesn't mean that creatinine isn't so important. It's also really important in diagnosing many diseases. And later, besides cortisol, also we want to measure also lactate and also blood iron and calcium and zinc. But that's the future.
Okay, I see. So these are your next steps, your goal to achieve. And what kind of the disease can your device can discover? Because like you said, you measure biomarkers, so they can show us what level in our organism they have. So on the base of the results, what kind of the disease can say we have based on your device and results from that?
Right now, as I said, we are measuring, and as you said, creatinine and urea. And based on those two substances, we are able to diagnose kidney failures because those two substances are strongly related with our kidneys. And it's quite important because right now, kidney failures and kidney diseases are diagnosed really late, when it's almost too late, not almost, but mostly too late to treat them. So it's hard to live with them for the rest of your life. And I hope, thanks to our device, more people will be able to be diagnosed earlier when the disease started and now not when it developed. So when it will be when people will have time to stop the development of the disease. And once on one event, when we were presenting our device, I had the opportunity to speak with one nephrologist, and she asked me that she said that it's really great device, not only in terms of diagnosing diseases, but also in monitoring patients with chemotherapy. Because she said that when someone is on chemo, they need to have their creatinine level checked almost daily. Because based on that, the doctor can determine if the patient should get additional chemo or not, or their body is already failing because of too much chemo. The treatment should be stopped. So she said that even with this one biomarker, the device is quite helpful. So it's really great news for us because we want to improve people's lives, and for us, we didn't know about this. It was really great news, something that gave us new motivation to work harder.
That's really amazing. I'm really amazed by your idea and by this device because it really can help people. It will helping people with many diseases and not only. So is there any limitation connected with age or with different disease that make it impossible for some people uses your device?
For now, I don't think so. The only limitation is that we need to collect somehow a little bit of your sweat. So I'm not aware if there's any condition that makes you unable to sweat. So as long as we don't need to squeeze you to get the sweat, then there are no limitations.
So that's great. And I was wondering, does that solution not influence human organism? Is that, I know that it's safe because it has to be, but doesn't like the big amount of, I don't know, this can like influence human organism, on it's totally safe for people?
It's completely safe because even those substrates, they contain nano gold particles, as I said earlier. However, you don't touch your skin with those substrates. You are collecting your sweat, and then putting it on the substrate. So you don't interfere your skin, your body in any way. You just collect a little bit of sweat which is on the surface of your skin. So even when you need to collect your blood sample, you need to break the continuity of your skin. You need to insert something into your body. In this case, completely not. And I hope that in the future we will improve the procedure of collecting sweat sample. So you won't need any additional tool to collect it. Maybe it will be integrated somehow with the substrate or something like this. We are still working on it, but for now it's not our priority. Our priority is to make the measurement as valid as possible, as I said earlier, but we start to think about this procedure as well to make it as simple as possible.
Of course. And what are the benefits of using your device? Because we mentioned that it's non-invasive, this is pain-free, and what are the other aspects that can encourage people to use your device? Because probably on the beginning some people will be afraid of that because it's something new, they won't know how it works. So what are the benefits that they can encourage people besides the two most important, pain-free and non-invasive one?
I would say convenience, because even for me, when I go to a doctor and the doctor says, okay, I can't say if you're sick or not, you should run some blood tests. And then I think, oh no, not really. I'm completely like discouraged. I don't want to do it. I know that it's important and I force myself to do it because it takes a lot of time. I need to go to a nurse. Probably the nurse isn't available at the same time as the doctor, so I need to come back to the clinic the next day in the morning. So I need to one more day not going to work, or maybe part of the day I won't be able to go to work. Then I need to wait for the results, 1 day or even up to 3 days. And then when I have the results, I need to go back to the doctor. It's a lot of time wasted, and we want to avoid this necessity to make something so you could avoid this. And when the doctor will say, okay, I need to run some tests, it will be ready in 5 minutes at the same appointment in the same office without involvement of any other people. And this is its other benefit, maybe not directly for the patient, for you who wants to have your biomarkers checked, but for the clinic. If a clinic would buy or lease such device, they will save money on additional stuff, because this is really easy to use and it doesn't need any qualified personnel. Only someone who is able to collect the sweat sample, and you can do it by yourself. There's no need of nurse involvement or doctor or anyone else. And then you need to just press the start button. So it's also easy to use the device. And thanks to this, I would say it's benefit for you and benefit for whoever will buy the device because of cost saving. And also it doesn't require any additional preparation of the sample. When you have your blood taken, they need to put it into some device that will separate some substances in your blood. They need to put sometimes some chemicals inside it and then measure it. In our case, it just is one substrate. You put your sweat on it. That's it. Easy, quick, without, okay, you need one additional part, which is usable, but it's only one part.
That's all incredible. And I would like to know, how did you came up with the idea for a startup like this? What was your inspiration? How did you find the idea for that?
We were developing our technology in different startup, and we developed this device based on Raman spectroscopy. And we figure out that, okay, this device, it's really universal. You can measure with it many different things. And I mean really many different things, and in different, not only in biology, in medicine, but also in chemistry, in production, for example, on production lines and so on. So we figured out that maybe we can use this technology not only in one project, but maybe we can go wider also in different fields. And because this first project also was in the field of a medical device in medicine, it's something we knew how to work with it. And that's why we figure out, okay, maybe we should test also different things. And then some of us found this method, this SERS, and we thought, okay, it's nice. Why not to test it, to try it? And that's how we came up with this project.
Okay, and are your device is the first one in Poland, or do you have any competition on the market?
In Poland, it's the first one. I'm aware only about two different teams around the world that are researching the same thing. I mean the use of SERS substrates in biomarkers testing. One team is from United States, from Caltech University, if I'm correct, and one team is from Japan. And we are the third, or maybe the first.
Okay, so that's great. And I think that I have a question which is the most important for people who are listening to us and also can wait like I am to use your device. So do you know where the date when the device will be available for people in Poland, or it's a big step in the future and you don't know, you don't have the release date yet?
It's a really hard question because always in R&D there are many ifs. If nothing will happen during the research and development, then the device will be ready. Right now, it's hard to tell because right now we are focused on getting funding for next stages of the work. When we will secure the funding, then we will know when probably the device will be ready.
Okay.
But I think that 3 years from now, something like this.
Okay, so that's quite close future, I can assume. What are the biggest challenge in running startup in a MedTech field?
Oh, there are many challenges. But the biggest challenges, I would say, is funding, to find investors, because when you are developing an app, mobile app or any other, it's something easy. I won't say it's easy, it's easier. You know the obstacles you will find. It's harder to commercialize, it's harder to find customers, and the marketing is harder, but the development itself, I would say, in comparison, it's easier. In our case, we need to develop the hardware, the software. We need to secure the testing to ensure that our method is valid and our tests are valid, to confirm that the device is working, to get medical certifications and so on. So the whole process of development, it's much longer, and many investors, they don't want to wait so long for the results. That's why it's hard to collect funding. And the second thing, I would say, it's the mentioned by me medical certification, because it's really, really expensive and also takes much time. So those two factors, I would say.
Okay, I see. So thank you for amazing conversation. Thank you for telling us something more about your amazing device. And at the end, I have the last one question to you, because you are a co-founder of a startup, so you have experience in startup field. So what is your advice for our people who dreaming about starting their own startup, running their own company? What is your advice for them?
Yeah, it's a hard question. I assume that many people said don't do it, so I won't be original. So maybe I should say something else besides don't do it. If you decide to do it, then take your time in market analysis. Do it really, really carefully, because it determines if your project is worth try or not, or maybe someone else already did it. But even if someone else already did it, maybe you are better in some way. You're competitive, maybe not better, but you're more suited for different parts of the market. And don't be afraid to pivot. Like in our case, we had different projects, and Nourica is a spin-off, and also spin-off with some changes in the concept. So don't be afraid to pivot, to change your concept, because maybe if your first concept wasn't right, you couldn't find customers. Maybe if you will change something, then the customers will find you. So
thank you for advice. I think that many people get inspired because of that. Thank you for one more time for being here, for your time. Dariusz Gajewicz, co-founder of Nourica startup. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me here. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye-bye.